Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game 1 of a best of 1. It is a ZvZ. It is gonna be damn good. I'm really looking forward to it anyway. It's gonna be going down on the lovely map that is Derelict Watcher, and spawning up in the top right position is the blue Zerg. It's from My Insanity. He's Zervas. And his opponent down in the bottom left, it is the red Zerg player representing Team Liquid. None other than Red. Gotta love a bit of Red. Red's an awesome guy. I know I say this every time I cast it, but Red is so cool. Anyway, so, Derelict Watcher, ZvZ, what can we be expecting in terms of strategy, in terms of good options? Well, ZvZ as a whole is kind of split up into a couple of different periods. And seriously, I don't know why, even when I'm set to busy, it's still doing this. There's something bugging out with my StarCraft 2 client. Even if I set it to busy, and then back to available, and then back to busy again, it still doesn't work. Mind games. It's like, it's messing with me, it's crazy. But anyway, ZvZ, yeah, it's split up into multiple different periods, different strategies can be used within. So, you get the kind of first stage where Zerglings are OP. Like, whoever has more Zerglings tends to win. That's great, not so great if you're the one getting rushed, or anything like that. Then you, of course, get into the Zergling and, well, Speedling and Baneling phase, usually comes straight after, especially in pro games. There are ways you can avoid Banelings, but they aren't as common, especially nowadays. So, Zergling Baneling, it comes down, it's a micro war. It's as simple as that. If you are being aggressive, it all comes down to how well your opponent defends. If they can get good Baneling hits off, if they can get in a good spot, then yes, they'll be great. If not, then it can all go terribly wrong for you. And then there's kind of this lull, and then there's really a couple of choices. Before the Spore Crawler change, which happened a few months ago, Muta on Muta was always going to be what we saw. But nowadays, with how effective Spore Crawlers are, you can sometimes see some Hydralisk style plays, some more Roach heavy plays, even some Infestor plays come through too. So that's if we don't get Muta on Muta, and I really have no idea what's even going on here. I don't know why it's doing it. It's so annoying. I do apologise. But anyway, hatcheries coming down on both sides, both opened up the same way. Gas is getting taken at basically the same point. Red getting his fractionally earlier. Red's actually doing really well at the moment in terms of his plays. Super motivated with all of his stuff. If you check out his Twitter, which is at Liquid Red, then of course you will know just that he's practicing tons and he's just playing super awesome. Anyway, Overlords just kind of milking their way across, going for a little hunt around, gonna go see what they can find, what they can spy. Just really keeping an eye out for any move outs. So generally the first Overlord is to check his own expansion, and then it usually pulls back to somewhere around here just to see if any units come out. So Red sees that two Zerglings are on their way, but that's not enough to be scary. Meanwhile, Zervas, he gets a good little scout out, says, okay, well, the expansion's coming up, I guess you're doing the same thing as me. And when you both know that you're doing the same as each other, it's always good. The gas count, like, it's just a couple in favor of Red. It's so minuscule, though. It's not going to influence this game. It's what happens after they start up Zergling speed that will be influencing. If they both keep 3 drones in gas, then it just straight up means that they're going to be going Banelings, and that's what we are actually seeing here. Now, the reason they're keeping this in gas is because it wasn't a hatch first or anything like that, or a super early gas, so they still got full saturation at their natural. Rally points then change down to the natural base from the main for drones, just so you can saturate that up nice and quick. But this is pretty much going as standard as possible. Red getting his Baning Nest slightly earlier. Note the Overlord position as well. Just keeping a good little eye down on anything that could be coming out. Just making sure that he's aware of what his opponent's doing. Zervas is being quite delayed in actually getting down his own Baneling Nest compared to that of Rets. Rets is already about 25 seconds ahead, but with the Baneling Nest now coming down in this position from Zervas, it's quite interesting. And the reason I say that's quite interesting is simply because it's positioned in a way where it's unlikely to get scouted. Rhett is right at the front, next to a Spine Crawler. He's creating a nice little hidey hole for a queen, if need be, and he's not afraid for it to be spotted. But Zervas is trying to hide his Baneling Nest from Rhett, and this could lead to some sneaky trickery, a little bit of Baneling aggression, we'll wait and see. But for the moment, Zervas is just droning ridiculously hard. So is Rhett, though. They're both just pressing the D key. Pretty much what Zerg players want to do early game is just drone as heavy as possible. Both starting their lairs simultaneously. So this just shows how refined these builds are, that they're both getting everything down at the same time. The gas is getting taken pretty similar. Zervas only getting up to 3 gas though, whereas Rek going up to 4. This is quite significant. Okay, now there's the 4th coming down, so that's fine. I was going to say, if there was only 3, then I was expecting some kind of interesting roach push, some kind of timing there, rather than mutalist, but it looks like both are going to be going for mutas. Derelict Watcher has a nice little bit of dead space around that you can try and utilize, coming through. You can dart in and out of the different bases. It's nice to do that. Meanwhile, defensive banelings for Zervas, he's just making sure things are always safe. This Overlord isn't actually getting a vision of anything. That's really frustrating for it. Red playing a little bit blind. All he knows is that there's a base and a spine cord. Meanwhile, Zervas, he's seen most of the important things, apart from the lair. That's what they're both trying to get the confirmation of at the moment is the lair coming down? Is there a third? And, well, actually, Zervas is the one keeping a real good eye out in terms of just getting vision. Red, unless he saw the drone move, which he could have done, isn't going to know it's coming down, but Zervas definitely confirms that there's a hatchery with an Overlord floating above it. And Red now moving his own Overlord slightly closer forward, so is he about to go and see that there's something there? Note as well, some creep being generated. That's really smart, just in case you need to bring some static defense over. Start up sports, for example. But as expected, both players getting their spire down, so this is very equal as things stand. LZ is logging in and out like a madman. It seems to only bug for some people. I don't know what is going on, but anyway. Yeah, this is all going fairly normal. Ooh, nice little engagement here. That was quite a big baneling hit, I do believe, for Ret, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it wasn't that big. Only a couple of resources lost, but still enough to give this Speedling dominance. But baneling's coming in. Ret does notice. A baneling for Zergling. Good trade there for the Team Liquid player. A Spine Crawler trying to position itself somewhat in the middle. Baneling's morphing on both sides. One lone baneling trying to be a hero. Zervas, meanwhile, getting a couple more out. He's flooding with a couple of lings. Just trying to make sure that he keeps the ground control. It's a major top. But yeah, this is Spires. All looking good. Meanwhile, Red going to try and force a cancel of this hatchery. I don't think he's going to be able to get it, though. There's too many defensive banelings, although Red reinforcing with some banelings of his own. But remember, 2 banelings do kill banelings. And good detonation there for Zervas. He's able to keep his hatch up for the time being. Gets a nice detonation on quite a few of those lings. But Red has just far more. He's coming in. He is pushing to get this third hatch down. And note that it's finished, so a cancel is not an option. Red will be able to take it down, and that is a fantastic little snipe for him there in exchange for a couple of banelings and lings. Note though, in terms of the Mutalisk count, Red is now flooding with Mutalisks. He's also got +1 Carapace coming down. No +1 Carapace yet for Zervas. That means he can afford 1 more Mutalisk. But it means that once that +1 is done, there'll be a small window, about 30 seconds now, where Red will be able to trade so much more effectively with his own Mutas. A couple of Overlords are getting taken down on both sides, so mutually destructed. Zervas does have a few more Mutalisks here, so he could actually take this trade if he wants to, but Red will be reinforcing, so this is where you've got to play a dangerous game. Red moving his Zerglings underneath to soak up some of those bouncing glaives, but still Zervas, just with the focus fire down on the Mutalisks, is able to win this fight. Good trade there for Zervas. Red needs to be very careful now. He does have more reinforcing Mutalisks coming out, but Zervas still slightly up. He's trying to retake up that third. Note these 2 Vespian guys are only just now doing something, but a Speedling run by is going to kill off a lot of drones and the Queen too. Very frustrating. Red coming in now with his own Mutalisk. A couple of drones have been taken out, but only 2 at the moment. It's the Queen going down. That's the bigger loss, just due to it hurting the production capability, but another Queen just chilling out here. That's the one from the Natural, if I'm not mistaken. Having said that, though, we've got the third nearly back up now, which is really what's needing to be seen. This third base has to be resecured if Zervas wants to keep things going. He's, in terms of economy, slightly down on the gas income, and of course we all know that in Muta and Muta, gas is what is so important. You need that gas to really start pumping out as many Mutalisks as possible. Upgrades, +1 flyer attack nearly done for Red, whereas it is still quite a way off there for Zervas. This could be a nice window of opportunity for Red, although I don't think he'll take it just because he's down on the Mutalisk flock count at the moment. He can try perhaps looking to push out a little bit. Running with some Speedlings here is going to try and force a cancel. Oh, it's going to kill the Queen actually very, very quickly. A Spore Crawler is coming down. A couple of drones may die too. It depends whether or not Red's able to close down on that. But Zervas does a nice job defending and is able to keep everything pretty secure. Both players have lost the Queen now, so pretty much even trades. And talking of even trades, Red's losing a little bit more than Zervas, but only by 575 resources. Not crazy, and a lot of that probably was minerals. So in now comes the Muta on Muta 5. Both players do have +1 Carapace though, so the difference is the Muta flock and who has the ground control. Because whoever has more lings underneath the army will soak up more bouncing glaives. If you soak up bouncing glaives, obviously that's less splash. Your Muta flock will trade better. Interestingly, both players getting the +1 flyer attack. That makes sense because it's quicker to upgrade than the +2 Carapace. An Overlord gets sniped there by Zervas. Nicely done. The Mutalisk block is in Zervas' favour by a few. He's also got Zerglings down on the ground. This is looking problematic for Red. Meanwhile, Speedlings are running into the third base. Red trying to take this trade, but he's losing all of his Mutalisks, and this is not going too well for him. He's going to have to pull back. Meanwhile, drones are getting taken down, prioritizing drones mining gas as opposed to those on minerals, which is a smart move just to try and hurt Red's Mutalisk production. Zervas flooding with speedlings behind this. Red coming in with some reinforcing Mutalisks. Is he going to be able to make it work for him? No, a lot of those are very low on health. Unfortunately, are getting taken out. Zervas now superior in terms of the Muta flock, and with speedlings coming in, Red is really on the ropes now. Can he make this work? Well, he's got Spore Crawlers up around, but he needs to fight over those just to allow them to do a lot of DPS and somehow try and defend against these speedlings. But seeing the Lings, Red realizes he's not going to be able to hold it, and GG's out. So congratulations there to Zervas. That was actually a really back and forth close game. Could have gone either way. Just shows how volatile ZvZ can be at times. Of course, if you enjoyed the cast, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and subscribe. I get new games out daily, and so I hope to see you all tomorrow for yet another StarCraft 2 cast. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.